SpotlightMediaStudios.com. Welcome to Education Unfiltered. Here is Mary Stucco.
Hello, this is Mary Stucco with Education Unfiltered, where we talk about all things higher ed and education. And today I'm excited to introduce Chris Timmerman, who's the Senior Manager of Student Relations with WSIA, which stands for the Wholesale and Specialty Insurance Association. Welcome, Chris. How are you?
I am great, Mary. It's great to be with you today.
Thank you so much. I appreciate it. So tell me a little bit, what is WSIA?
Sure. So you mentioned it's the Wholesale and Specialty Insurance Association, and we are basically a member service organization focused on wholesale, specialty, and surplus lines, the insurance segment of the industry. And so what that means is we focus on networking and education, regulatory and legislative advocacy for our members, and we have 700 member firms or over that throughout the U.S. and the U.K., basically worldwide, and that represents tens of thousands of individual brokers, insurance companies, underwriters. So we represent quite a large group of people. And our team of 17, we have a variety of roles that we play. Mine is in working with college students to educate them about our segment of the insurance industry.
That is so cool that you've really kind of merged the two worlds and helping to prepare students, and give them an opportunity to explore different areas of the industry that maybe they haven't seen before. So let's talk a little bit about this. What exactly do you do to connect with the college students and get them involved?
Yes. So we focus a lot with risk management and insurance majors or actuarial science majors, finance majors. And so that would be a lot of the students that already are aware of us, but we are also very open to college students of any major because we have a lot of opportunities for students to come into the industry. But we do have a variety of programs that we do that to educate students. I would say one of the first things would be our college symposiums that we do in Tempe, Arizona, Atlanta, LA, and Chicago. And so even if students don't know a lot about our industry or risk management and insurance, we provide a career fair, educational sessions on a variety of topics. Some of the recent topics would be liquor liability, natural disasters, construction and working with contractors, athletes and sports risk, cannabis. So a variety of unique topics and risks that students may not normally think about when they're thinking about insurance. So that would be one area of what we provide for students. Then we have internships, paid internships in the summer, where students receive $22 an hour. They are also now receiving a $5,000 scholarship at the end of their internship. So that is something we're excited about. We offer $5,000 scholarships, a white paper contest, which is supporting research in different areas of the industry, presentations, that we will do to college student organizations and classes, that type of thing. So happy to share any more about any of those opportunities that we have.
Yeah, I think that's so wonderful that you have all these different platforms for students because, obviously every student has different strengths, different areas that they're interested in. I really like the white paper contest that you do because you take topics that are very pertinent and top of mind, and you do those every semester. So do you want to talk just a little bit more about that white paper contest and maybe how students who aren't familiar with the program may be able to participate in that?
Yeah, so as you mentioned, we do this every semester, and we have a committee of industry members who select timely topics. So, for example, the ones currently for the fall semester are catastrophic events affecting insurance availability and capacity. The second one is inflation and the impact on the insurance industry. And our third topic is women in insurance, narrowing pay gaps and the leadership divide. And so it is an 8 to 10 page research paper and that students submit by December 4th, and then we announce the winners on January 13th. And we are excited to be able to share the cash prizes are $1,000 for third place, $2,000 for second place, and then the overall winner, first place, receives $3,000. So it's exciting to be able to support students financially and also with the research that they're doing.
Yeah, and I think that's wonderful because it's literally students from all over the country that are doing this. And so there's, those different perspectives based off where you live. And I really like it for students because it gives an opportunity to really become an expert in one area because you're doing a really sizable paper, having to really investigate it. And it kind of sets you apart from other students because now here's one spot where you've really focused on and really learned a great deal about, in addition to regular classwork.
Exactly. And I think that's exciting, too, that faculty are adding this to their syllabi as either part of a course requirement or as extra credit. So students might get credit as well as, earning some money to help them with their tuition. But again, we try to select different topics every semester that might reach students' interests as well. And as we said, you don't have to be a certain major to do this research.
Exactly, and I think that's good to know for college students who are listening to this and you don't necessarily have an insurance and risk management program, or if you don't have an actuarial program, if this is something that looks interesting to you, you can certainly feel welcome to join in and participate in.
Correct. We have finance students, business students, but there could be a reason that, some of these might be of interest to a student in general in another major. So we welcome research from any students.
Excellent. Now, one thing I want to touch on, and then we kind of go back a little bit more to your program, is we're starting to see more people coming back to school who are not like a traditional student, but a more experienced learner. Is that something that you encourage as well to participate in the WSIA programs?
Yes, of course. We welcome students that are either coming back to college and earning their degree for the first time, or, I've just came across someone who is coming back to get a different degree in risk management now. And we have so many opportunities for full-time positions in the industry, and having, different experiences is, welcome. So I would say, our symposiums, if in person, if someone can come to one of those to really learn more about what we do, that would be, one of the best things they can do because there's so much interaction with members of the industry as well. And so it's possible that they could find their niche within the industry and use some of their previous experience because we have, besides positions such as broker or underwriter, which are maybe some of our common ones, there are positions in accounting and finance and IT and claims, customer support, human resources. So there's so many different routes that students could take in the industry. So I think it's really open to so many.
Wonderful. Now, can you break down a little bit what happens in your symposiums? You mentioned they're kind of scattered throughout the country, some of the bigger cities. What can a student expect when they attend one of those?
Sure. So, yes, each one of them does include a career fair. And so we tend to draw from companies, our member firms that are in the region and that, have a lot of openings in that area. So that is one thing. We tend to have a networking opportunity to each one of those so students can talk informally with members of the industry. We have roundtable discussions where members will come to a table of students and talk to them for about 15 minutes about their background and their journey and the types of work that they do, and then we'll switch and have a different industry member come and speak so the students hear different perspectives. And then we try to focus our educational sessions on the different risks, like the ones that I talked about, so students get a better understanding of what we do in our segment of the insurance industry versus the admitted market. So, I'm thinking of some other ones like high-risk property. We've done one on kidnap and ransom before, special events and festivals, medical research. So there's a lot of those different types of topics, and so we'll draw some presenters that have that area of expertise and share with students about what they have to consider when covering different types of risks. We tend to have one presentation that's also just on, being a professional, transitioning from student to professional and what that looks like, and it could be a little bit about, how to manage yourself on social media or in social events, resumes, interviews, that type of thing. So we do try to cover one that would be general for all students regardless of major and how to help them to prepare for a full-time career. Excellent.
Now, you also say you have scholarships available. What do those look like?
Yeah, so we have a WSIA Education Foundation, and they are very generous in awarding students $5,000 scholarships. And so those are primarily for students that are interested in going into insurance and have some insurance background. It could be a major, a minor, a concentration. It could be a part-time job. But we want to support students financially and help them with their tuition and fees. And so students would apply every March for the funding would be for the next academic year. So for this coming March 3rd, that would be our deadline. And then students would receive $2,500 in the fall semester and then $2,500 in the spring semester. And really we just ask for, a short essay of only 500 words. It's just one page long, kind of explaining to us why they are interested in the surplus lines industry or what specific characteristics make them to be a good fit for the industry. So that one's a little bit more focused on those that do have a little bit of a background or who have an intention of going into the industry.
Excellent. And can you go into a little bit more detail on the internship program that you do in the summer? You mentioned a little bit about the scholarship and, they get paid very well to be there. But can you talk a little bit more about what it looks like for those students over the summer and what they can look forward to doing?
Yes, absolutely. So I'm happy to share that we actually have 2 internship programs now. One of those is for students that have risk management and insurance background or coursework, and the other one is open to any major. And so we're happy about that because we really do want students to be exposed to our industry earlier in their career. So students can be going into their sophomore, junior, or senior year for our Diversity Foundation internship. And if they're in that program, they spend 9 weeks with one host firm where they're learning a little bit more about what it's like to be on the brokerage side of the industry or with someone on the underwriting side. And then they're just kind of learning in general about the different departments that might be within one of those member firms. If they're in the WSIA internship program for students that are already in risk management, they spend 5 weeks with someone on the underwriting side and then 4 weeks with a company on the brokerage side. So they're learning both sides of the business, and they can make a decision going forward about where they want to be full time. So we're trying to give them a little bit of exposure to day-to-day, business and meetings and networking events and just seeing how the business works. But in addition to that, all the interns from both programs will be coming to Kansas City for 3 days in June before their internship, so they get to know each other, they get to know other members of the industry before they even go out to all of their locations throughout the country. So we have member firms that are, from LA, Atlanta, Chicago, New York, and multiple places in between. So I work with the students on some of their preferences for why they might want to be in a particular location or city, even long term. So our goal is to try to get students matched with what makes the most sense for them personally and professionally and where they want to end up, for their full-time career. So they also all get a mentor for the summer. So in addition to their host firm and the contacts that they have within those organizations. They also have a third person that will just help meet with them virtually or in person occasionally throughout the summer to bounce ideas off of about what they're learning, to ask questions so they feel confident about, processing what they're learning. So we're excited about that part, too, to be able to provide them all a mentor. In addition, all of them, we have 25 interns on the WSIA internship side and 15 on the WSIA Diversity Foundation internship, but all 40 students will be considered to be selected for the top 10 interns to go to our WSIA annual marketplace, which is like our convention of over 6,000 members in San Diego next September. Of those top 10, then the top 2 get to go to London to study the London market for 3 weeks the following June. So it's a multi-layered internship program. So not just the financial benefit of the $22 an hour and the $5,000 scholarship, but the different locations and the mentoring and these other opportunities to be with members in San Diego and London is just makes it an exceptional program.
What a great opportunity for students to experience different parts of the country and the world, through this program. Oh, my gosh, that's wonderful. Well, thank you so much for joining us today, Chris. And can you tell us how people can reach you if they have any questions?
Sure. I have a very simple email address. It's chris@wsia.org. So it's CHRIS at WSIA.org. And then for all of our student programs, it's just WSIA.org/students. And all of our student programs are on there.
Thank you so much. This is Chris Timmerman, the Senior Manager of Student Relations with WSIA. This is Mary Stucco with Education Unfiltered. Thank you so much for joining us today.